we're looking at that too.
Anyone else? And again?
I'll make mine quick. John Sullivan, Vauxhall resident. I have more questions than I have answers. The last time I was able to meet with you gentlemen, I believe there was an agreement that we were going to call a meeting together and have a representative from DEQ so that we could discuss the problems of their monitoring of the biosolid application.
And that's gonna be the August 21st meeting.
That is going to be on the
Yes.
calendar?
That's gonna be part of that, absolutely.
Part of it,
Part
okay.
of that, absolutely.
Secondly, I'm not in the communication linkage, so I don't know what's going on totally. Are you aware that the Siletz Tribal Council did generate a letter on this? correct?
Yes, we met with them last week and then that was mentioned.
And are you aware that Toledo, we met with Toledo City Council on the study? Okay. So you can see the amount of concern. And then the question is, what are we going to do about it? And what I'm hearing is that we probably are going to have to go to the state legislature to get final action. My concern is this may be a long time coming, and I would hope you could pursue this in order to get some type of temporary remedial action, such as was suggested, stop the Class B application, or at least have them apply it somewhere outside the Siletz watershed, which is detrimental to the majority of the people in the entire county.
Can I suggest those are great questions to pose to the people who are gonna be there on the 21st?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we've talked about some of those things, and we've suggested and looked at a number of options, and one of the important takeaways from this particular meeting, we'll talk about what are our next steps and alternatives. So that's the great questions to ask at the 21st.
If I sound a little bit agitated, it's because I've been personally working on this over 15 years.
Gotcha.
Right.
You're not the only one that's agitated.
I had a follow-up question for Wayne.
Okay, quickly, please.
I will be very quick. It's my understanding in reading the law that the county has the right to exceed state and federal law if you can show harm. If you can show harm to our citizens in Lincoln County, then we can override their law.
Unfortunately, I don't agree with that, but that's okay.
Okay,
You bring that up if you want to cite me to case law or anything like that.
Why don't you meet with Wayne and
Yeah, please
That's a
send
good
him, if you've
idea.
got case law,
Yep.
send him the citation.
I'll work on that one.
So I'd like to make it before we get out of this meeting.
well, you want to do that now, or see if there's anyone else?
Well, go ahead and see if anybody else, but
Anyone else?
I haven't thought of anything.
All right, for the record, Betty, please.
Betty Kamikawa, Toledo. I just have two things. Came up just now. There is a difference between Class A and Class B biosolids, obviously. Newport's making theirs slightly safer, but not everything is decomposed by lime. Not all of the compounds that they want to say are being removed, and all of, yes, it's killing the pathogens, but all the things, the pharmaceuticals, the cosmetics, the detergents, all the things that we put down our drains are not decomposed by lime. Some of them have to be acidified, and they're not doing that. So they're as safe as they want to think they are. They would, everybody wants to cover their eyes and cover their ears and pretend it's not happening, but it's happening. Now, the reason I came was I want to give you these. This is, here's 4 copies. And I have a few more for the audience when I'm done here.
Betty, can you make sure that Christie gets a copy?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
This is from 2003, the Source Water Assessment Summary Brochure for City of Siletz. And this was prepared by the DEQ. And the first 2 paragraphs, the first one is, what is a source water assessment? The source water assessment was recently completed by the Department of Environmental Quality, DEQ, and the Oregon Health Division, OHD, to identify the surface areas and/or subsurface areas that supply water to the city of Siletz public water system intake and to inventory the potential contaminant sources that may impact the water supply. Why was it completed? The source water assessment was completed to provide information so that the city of Siletz public water system staff operator, consumers, and community citizens can begin developing strategies to protect the source of their drinking water and to minimize future public expenditure for drinking water treatment. The assessment was prepared under the requirements and guidelines of the Federal Safe Drinking Water Act. This was done in 2003, and then, so, in here it goes through and it gives, for Siletz, at the time, there were 20 possible contamination sources that they identified. Number 16, land application sites. Northeast of intake off Logsdon Road, Siletz. Proximity to sensitive area, within sensitive. Relative risk level, higher, which means it's at the highest level that they've had. And the potential impacts, improper management of sludge and wastewater may impact drinking water. And then the comments was contact indicated at least 2 sites off Logsdon Road where they're applying biosolids. And if they're improperly applying them, which we have evidence that they were improperly applying them because they were within the 200-foot area to the Siletz River, then they've contaminated the river according to this.
Thank you.
Okay, good information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
You didn't think I would. Hoping, I'm sure, but
We're all friends now, but for the record.
Katie Davis, farmer here, grew up here, Cedar Creek, that's where I grew up. That's where I rode my horse in the water. We went down, actually started at Stone Park yesterday, wasn't it yesterday? With my sister-in-law, Alan's sister Inez, and her husband. Stone Park looked pretty good. I didn't see any algae, but then that is tide water there. We went up and decided to stop at Cedar Creek. Now this is my home. This is where I went in. No survey. Looking at it, it looks beautiful. I just remember, it's how I remember it. And then I look at the slow water, and there the algae is, and it's thick. And it's all over. And then you know how when the water drops and then the little puddles come, and the life that's usually in the puddles? There's no life. None. There's no water. There's water bugs, the skippers we talked about, there's some of those. There's no living water bugs that I can see swimming in the water. And again, has anybody caught a bullhead? Haven't seen a bullhead in years. So, I just, and then as far as the city of Siletz goes, according to this, and this was May 2018, and this is when we got, receiving stream basin, receiving stream, Siletz River, WRD, Mid-Coast Basin. There's the permit. So I don't know if that's what happens when if there's an overflow or if the water's clean, but that's what it says. Paul Kennedy had told me you had land applied, but he obviously didn't know because you haven't since 2004. So again, the DEQ agent really didn't know what they're doing. So I guess that was it. I just wanted to bring that up, and the algae, and again for the water safety, if there's anything you can do, because Autocrest is coming soon. Newport's still running, Toledo's still running. That proverbial straw, when's it gonna hit, or has it?
Can you make sure Christie gets a copy of that information, please?
Thank you again.
What happens when you run half marathons on a sunny day on Saturday? And for me, it takes 2.5 hours.